Hi guys, today I have something really exciting for you. At least it is for me. The Dell Latitude, I think 7370. It is pretty much brand new on the market, and I got asked, I think it was 2 days ago, if I wanted to review it, and I totally forgot about this device. I had to actually check what it was, but once I saw it and knew again what this was, I knew this was the one that I was excited for already for quite some time. It is what I think to maybe be, not much else there, some, I guess, charger and so on, a kind of a Dell XPS 13 killer. It only uses Core M, but that's totally fine with me. Core M, if you don't want to use it for heavy rendering or so, should be good enough. So here it is. Okay, I think I'm pretty much the first one who ever opened this box from what I know. So, aluminum here, it feels, wow, this feels great. Thin profile, and since this is a Latitude device, this is meant for business. I'm not quite seeing any back ports as we usually do, but let's see what we actually got. Thunderbolt, two pieces of them. HDMI, the micro HDMI, SD card, no, I think that's actually a SIM card slot. SD card reader, front bottom facing speakers, so looks okay. I hope they sound good. We have rubber feet now, finally. This is something that I wanted a long time on Latitude device. Then here we have the SD card reader, headphone jack, USB 3. Okay, so at least we have one USB, one regular sized one. In terms of size, it should be super great. I read something at about 1.1.2 kilos. I think it's more like 1.2, but I will weigh it on my kitchen scale and let you know in an annotation. But first, super solid, looks really nice and compact. Let's open it up and see what we've got in here. The cool thing is it is a Latitude, so it can bend more than 180 degrees. This has a purpose. I explained it once, but I don't think I have to once again. So yes, I really like that. Of course, we have the Infinity Edge display that you can see, almost no bezel at all. Really super tiny. Of course, it comes with the downside of the webcam being down there, which I don't personally mind so much. I will just turn it on. The keyboard. This is the one thing that I complained about the most. And let me zoom in a little bit on the Dell XPS 13 review, because I didn't like it so much. It just wasn't close to a Latitude style. Now, let me check this real quick. Okay, we have lots and lots of key travel. Feels great, backlight, nice design. Yeah, this is the keyboard that I always wanted on the XPS series. Not so quite so sure about the trackpad, because usually they are only, the only issue that I have is that they are a little bit too sticky, which I noticed once again here. And I just want to make one thing sure, this is just an unboxing from my first impressions, and my first impressions change quite often, sometimes dramatically. So this is just the first impressions video. This is nicely done, all good. The keyboard, definitely, I like it already a lot more. I'm pretty happy with that so far. I think I will love this as much as any other Latitude device. So yes, this looks good. The display is only 1080p, if we check that real quick. Why do I say only 1080p? Because, oh, it's not touchscreen. I didn't like it so much actually on the Dell XPS 13. It was just a little bit too dull in my opinion. Let me lock that. Full, oh, this is full brightness. Oh, I hope it is not. I hope there's maybe some adaptive screen going on. I think it should be, then it should be bright. I will check that. Let me actually stop this video for a few seconds and I will get back to you. Okay, I am back. What I did is I turned off adaptive brightness to make the screen bright. It actually did happen, and pulled on all my test data from my USB stick. And what I want to do now is actually live see the weight. If it's really that lightweight. 1.25 kilograms. So I think that's pretty much what the Dell XPS 13 was. And before I'm going to actually check the device a little bit more, let's compare the size. Here with a 14-incher, the Dell Latitude 5470 that I will review, I think, tomorrow. So as you can see here, there's a big difference between a 13.3-incher and a 14-inch office device. So they did a great job in making this as compact as possible. Now let's try it with something more commonly seen. The MacBook Pro 13. And okay, here I'm surprised because it's not actually that much smaller. Of course, it's a lot more lightweight. Doesn't even seem to be thinner. Okay, this is surprising. I did not expect it to be, because this one weighs almost 1.6 kilograms. So it definitely feels, but it also, for some reason, it looks smaller. And especially someone who used the Dell XPS 13 a few times. And I will actually, if you want to make a comparison between those two, I think I will do that. I will ask Dell if I can get that as well. I have this one long enough, so I definitely want to do that. So let's get back. Keyboard, I tried it a little bit longer. Absolutely great job. Trackpad is something that I will still have to see, but I'm not a big fan of them anyways. So let's do some testing here real quick. So let's check the display. Let me turn off. Sorry, this is a little bit impromptu, but I was so excited because this is using Core M with an SSD, a small chassis, so absolutely fanless. This is something that I'm super excited about. Let's check the screen in the darkness. So 100% actually now is bright enough. It's still not as bright as I thought, but the 1080p on the Dell XPS never was. 2-level backlight. It's a little bit less bright than on the other Dell Latitude devices that I used so far, but this is okay, as you can see here, because usually it was actually too bright and it looks still better than it looks here on the display. Now, sharpness looks fine to me. The white color, the white balance looks a little bit more on the warmer side, but that can be fixed. The black is something that I'm very interested to see in. Okay, I think it is obvious because you don't see anything and I don't see anything. There is no light bleed at all. So time to turn on the screen. No light bleed. Really nice blacks. Colors look really nice, really nice. So maybe they did improve the screen after all, coming from the Dell XPS 13. I will check a few more pics a little bit later, but it looks so far really nice. Let's check the sound. This is something that I'm still always a little bit concerned about on a Latitude device. Let's check that. Wait, it goes even louder. What? Okay, that actually sounds decent. I expected not anything more. I expected actually something less, so totally fine, totally fine. It's still a little bit, it sounded a little bit weak, but maybe there's still the option to tweak the settings a little bit. Let's actually test the performance just real quick in terms of scrolling and so on. How the keyboard works and so on. Can we scroll? Okay, here it is. Let's go into that and see. There is a QHD Plus version, so 3200 by 1800, that also has the touch screen, but I think this will do a lot better of a job. Yes, absolutely. Let's try this with a mouse. Yeah, and this just proves it. The Core M is absolutely, totally enough if you want a great browsing experience and something like that. If you do some heavy lifting for longer periods of time, maybe the Core M will throttle, but I don't need that, because I was actually thinking about selling my MacBook and getting something with a Core M, and I tweeted this a lot of times. And if I think it would be this, because the display already looks totally nice. It doesn't look, because it is a matte panel, it doesn't look quite as impressive as the MacBook Pro display does. And the 3200 by 1800 display is just a little bit of an anomaly in my opinion because of the odd scaling. But I think I could be fine with it because it is fanless, it is super lightweight and portable. The hinge, let's actually test that one. Yeah, it's a little bit wobbly, but it's still okay. So, what else? What else? Performance looks nice. Core M should do a great job. It is small and compact, thin. As you can see here, it looks really nice. Can it be opened with one hand? That is something that I want to try. I actually don't expect it to be possible because there is a little bit of a cutout, as you can see here. There is a cutout, but oh man, it's so, it doesn't really help. It's not quite enough. It's better than nothing, and nah, not really. I would have to lift it like this, but this actually is okay. It is okay. So my first verdict here, and once again, this is no review, this was just my first a little bit excited hands-on. I definitely like the build. It is small. Something that I prefer so much over the XPS 13 once again is this keyboard. This keyboard, I was so unsatisfied with the keyboard, and you've seen this on my reviews of the XPS, and this just fixes that. Core M also fixes the other issue that it doesn't have a fan, so it's 100% silent. This is great. I hope the Core M with the 1080p display will have a great performance in terms of battery life. Performance, I don't see any issue. Typing is great. The trackpad seems good. I would have wished for the Dell XPS 13 trackpad with the glass. We don't really have that. This is still a little bit too sticky, but I could just maybe use something like a vinyl skin to get that out of the way. I think I have even one left, so this would work. So, oh, we even have a fingerprint reader. I totally forgot that. I will set that up later, test that. So, my quick verdict after already way too many minutes, like 10, feels great. Definitely gets me excited because this is exactly the machine that I'm looking for. But the issue is it is quite hefty in terms of price. This is the Core M5 version, 256 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, not of RAM, SSD, 8 gigs of RAM, and it costs around, I think, like 1,550 euros. But if you live in the US, or if you are a businessman that can actually take off the taxes and so on, you should get it cheaper. And then, by the way, Dell, if you're watching, and if you want to give me a long-time loaner, I would be interested. I'm super stoked. This looks like it should replace my MacBook, but in terms of price, I'm not quite so sure about that. So that's it for my first impressions video. I will post the review in, I should post it in about a week, but I think I will take a little bit longer because I want to use it a little bit longer. Or I will just make the review and use it then for longer, because I usually get them for a little bit longer. And if you want the comparison with the XPS 14, which I think definitely will be very interesting, then I will just do that and I will contact them right away. So I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, especially of this device, subscribe to the channel. Okay, until next time. Bye.